See, the culture of acceptance is what is killing creativity. You're not doing something to win my favor. You're launching out because you understand who you are. That's the reason I said it is safe to start the conversation of purpose with identity, such that when you start rising, no matter your industry, you're rising not to win people's favor. You're rising because you know your identity. The blessing of being young is time, and then it expires. If you don't find yourself while you're young, you literally struggle through life. Mentorship is the fastest way to replicate yourself, not just verbatim or carbon copy. We're not saying copy me, but it's a way to let people know that you can do better. You cannot be this small. That's the way we popularize ideas. That's the way civilization do happen. The reason we are existing is not to cast out darkness. Darkness is a blessing. The reason I said it's a blessing is because darkness actually tells us the importance of light.
So welcome back to another episode of the Let's Talk Experience Show, and I'm so excited because on our studio today we have the phenomenal Mr. Kene. Thank you so much for really making our time to be on the podcast show with us today.
Thank you so much.
It's really an honor. You know, meeting you for the very first time years ago, I sat under your teaching and it was really inspiring. Part of what shaped my mindset. I believe you just have that gift of when you speak, people's mindset has a way of shifting, right? And I'm really blessed because I was in that conference and part of what where I am today, it contributed. So I just feel that I can't take this one alone. We needed to bring you on the show.
Thank you for your kind words.
And yes, your contributions will really matter a lot.
Thank you.
So thank you once again for making our time to be on the podcast show. Now, I'd like us to look at the area of the young people, right? Most especially the challenges they face and how they are expected to navigate life. Now, growing up, what is this key challenge you face as a young person?
From experience, I really longed to understand what it means to be young. I'm a person of knowledge, all right? And then what I mean by that is that the quest, the curiosity, all right, of the young man, all right, was there, but I would say it was not maximized to the fullest. I had the curiosity, I had the quest, I had the zeal. I understand that I want to use the word mentorship. All right. So from my experience, I would say that the conversation of being young or maximizing the young age must be on mentorship. So that umbrella called mentorship would help the young man understand, first of all, what does it mean to be young, and then how to maximize the young age.
So what does it mean to be young from your own perspective?
All right. Being young, what it means to be young is first of all to understand perception, who you are as a person. Now, if a young man starts out life without understanding the conversation of identity, that's who you are, the problem becomes really disturbing. All right, because what it means to be young, to attack the question directly, is to understand first of all identity. Identity is a blessing. You've got to know who you are. And then if you know who you are as a young person, I think to a large extent you have solved the problem of most people, all right, encounter at that time, at that age. So being young is finding identity. And then although being young is a blessing, there is an aspiration of being young. So if I don't get to know myself, if I don't get my identity correct and on time, I am not being young. Now I want to explain that. Being young is first of all a recognition that is a gift. Then secondly, I have to work with it because it has expiration date. It expires. I will not be young forever. So, but not just leaving it like open-ended. So what it really means, or what does it mean to be young, is that I must embrace identity on time. All right, that's the conversation that leads to people having inferiority complex. That's where we have the problem. It's not really the person is shy or the person cannot express himself or herself. It's just that the person lacks identity. It's also one of the reasons we have the rising sexual immorality and all of that. That conversation, all right, in one way or the other, is connected to identity. Yes, please. Identity.
So you talked about mentorship.
Yes, please.
Do you think that this mentorship has a great role? Let me first ask this.
Okay.
Do you think that it has a great role in shaping the life of a young person?
Yes. Mentorship does not just have a great role in shaping the life of a young person. Mentorship is the way to the future.
But most of our fathers grew up without mentorship. What do you call mentorship?
All right, so let me start with the first question. Most of our fathers grew up without what we call mentorship, and I think it's just semantics. It's the word mentorship. And then generally English language is a language of civilization. That means we had to invent languages for communication. So it's just about communication. It has been there, and it was there from the Bible days. We have Jethro to Moses. Then in our contemporary, we have our fathers that would stand as a picture, most times a near perfect picture. To paint what it means to be a man, you have to work hard. So the word mentorship maybe was not there, but when we started, as we grew, of course, with invention of ideas, management terminologies, we had the word mentorship.
But I'm not yet clear on the aspect of our fathers that did not grow up with mentorship, right? But let me first get what your idea of mentorship is.
Okay, I will first of all use Jesus's example.
Okay.
Then I would use a natural phenomenon. Mentorship, like I said, the word might not be mentorship in the Bible, but it's the word discipleship.
Okay.
And so the word mentorship can be replaced with discipleship using Jesus's expression, way of communication. So he called his disciples, I think in Mark chapter 3, to first of all be with him. So that calling disciples to himself was a way of pouring values, his way of life. Because majorly what mentorship does, or what mentorship should do, is to pour values. You follow somebody not just for what the person will give you or can do for you, but first of all because of who the person is. And then in exchange of, by virtue of fellowshipping with the person, you exchange values, you take on the person's value. So mentorship is largely exchange of value. If I'm being mentored, I take on the value. Then in a natural phenomenon, mentorship is a way to raise leaders. Now, as somebody that loves leadership and then that teaches leadership, mentorship is the fastest way to replicate yourself. Not just verbatim or carbon copy. We're not saying copy me, but it's a way to let people know that you can do better. You cannot be this small. It's not just motivation. It's not motivational talk. Mentorship is a way to raise other people, not just to think like you, but to carry out the same assignment, to carry out the same idea. And that's the way we popularize ideas. That's the way civilization do happen.
And don't you think it's been abused in most African regions?
Being abused, I may not say it's being abused, but I would say that it's just like a weapon. A weapon takes the form of the person wielding it. A gun can be better in the hands of a policeman. Is a trained soldier. Let me use trained soldier. I don't want to use policeman. I'm live, so I don't want to sound. But in the hands of a trained soldier, a weapon wields, takes on the training of the soldier. It doesn't shoot you carelessly because of its training. So the word mentorship may have been abused because of the people mentoring involved in that mentorship. So the concept is not wrong. It's just the people.
So in what area now, or what are the things we can do to curb some of these things?
What we do is that we just have to be there. What we usually, the normal thing is to maybe raise the dust, come after them. But the way to propagate a right thing or an idea the way to push a narrative is not to go look for the wrong things happening outside there. It's to push the right narrative.
Yeah.
So the way to curb it, I would say, is let the right mentors rise. It is time for the people that really understand the concept of mentorship. It's time for them to rise. If you mentor the right way, if you raise people the right way, you don't need to go ask what's going on the other side of the world. You will, by virtue of doing the right thing, consistently propagating what you're doing, spreading the word, the message. Before long, and of course, the reason we are existing is not to cast out darkness. Darkness is a blessing. The reason I said it's a blessing is because darkness actually tells us the importance of light.
Okay.
So in the presence of darkness, there is light. For example, in this room, in this studio right now, there is darkness, but it is not manifested.
Yeah.
The word manifestation is not just appearance, it's conversion. It is in existence, but it is not here because light is here. So light displaces darkness, not because darkness is no more in existence, but because the absence of darkness is the presence of light.
Yeah.
So we bring in light. We don't have to negotiate with darkness. Once our conversation is light, once we know what we are supposed to do, and then we're walking in the light, we push the narrative of light. Darkness will have to disappear. Darkness will have to disappear.
Wow. Now we'll still come back to that because it seems to me like we are running too fast. So now, a lot of people look up to you today, and I believe that you didn't get here overnight.
Yeah.
Now, I would like to know, how were you able to navigate through the pressures of being young? Because I believe strongly that, being young comes up with a lot of pressure.
Yes, that's right.
So how didn't you face the pressure?
I did though.
You did, right?
I did.
So how were you able to and I would like us to be a little bit more detailed. Right? Why telling me how you are able to overcome it? Let's see if we can pick around those pressures young people face today.
Okay.
And see how we can be able to provide measures that can solve it.
Thank you very kindly. I would speak from experience.
Yeah.
And I think it's a way to communicate maybe an area that largely receives a handful of conversation. There are not many conversations in that area. I will speak first of all as a male. And sometimes it's the danger of raising a male child as though there is no evil in the world. All right, coming from a family where I was raised with certain limitations. There were limitations around my growing up. All right, it was almost, there was nothing. So that there was nothing, coming back to the house and then finding out that you might not have the next meal. All right, coming back to the house and then there is no glory. There is no glory. And then because I discovered this at the why growing older. Okay. Especially when I get to speak with other young people, I see the gap between. It doesn't matter if you were privileged or not, because you will still have to go to the same school with them. Yeah. Sometimes you have to go to the same banking hall with them. Yeah. Sometimes you have to still pick up the same job with them. Yeah. And sometimes people expect us to have our pass right. So coming back to a home where you don't get what you want. This is not about luxury or extravagant. You don't get enough.
The basic ones.
You don't have the basic. So that actually stole, and that's what I want to talk about. It stole my confidence. All right. So, and I get a lot of comment when I say confidence. People seem to not believe that even as I'm speaking right now, it's a battle.
Even up till now.
Even up until this time.
No, I doubt that.
I know you doubt. I know you doubt. So when I tell people that I'm a shy person, it is not just about psychology. All right. I mean, I'm shy. I'm a shy person. So, and then you can trace it. Anybody that says that they are shy, you don't just throw away that conversation. You have to investigate. So, from my background, that stole, all right, my confidence. And then, I remember back in the days in Nigeria, we call it secondary school. So, in case you're viewing from somewhere, it's high school. It's the same high school, but it's Nigeria, so secondary school. I remember, in fact, the vivid picture I have now, because I don't forget it, was in my primary school. I went to a community primary school. That kind of school, Nigerians will understand, that kind of school where you can be in a class and be playing, I don't know if you played Cantaball. Gen Z, just pack your bags. You have a box of sugar, you arrange it like a goalpost, then you draw a middle line.
With
just
bottle.
Like with cap.
Yes,
the cap
yes,
of the
yes,
bottle.
yes.
Then that sugar box, right? You form it like the goalpost and then and all of. So I remember in my primary school, right, there was this guy that was acting as the strongest. Not like acting, he was the strongest. So I remember one of the days we finished, the school was over. I was supposed to go back home. And then the guy just came up to me and said, he wants to fight me. And usually they say the male man, you're a man, be a man, you must fight. But I'm saying this to explain confidence, why it is still lingering, all right, even right now, up until this time, because I will explain that later. So when he did that, I was so afraid. I mean, he touched me, he pushed me, and did you know, I picked up my sandal and I ran home.
Without fighting back?
I didn't fight back. He said, if I'm a man, I should come and fight him. So I ran. Now, running home, all right, I didn't realize. It was later that I would realize that was not a good thing. I know I was not supposed to fight back, but at least I was supposed to demonstrate, all right,
masculinity.
Yes, at least boldness. I should speak up. But then it boils down to, growing up, there was nothing. That affected confidence. And then growing up, it's just up until now, from hindsight, I never knew that my life would be about speaking. Because I had struggle with stuttering.
Really?
Like stutter. Secondly, people do not believe that I used to stutter. So you can imagine no confidence and you stutter. That means you would have to be quiet even when you have something to say. Because once you start, you will not finish. And so that embarrassment. So I would say young people should be supervised. And I'm saying this especially a young man, a boy. All right. That age is important because it will later affect the way they do life. It will affect the way they do work, business, and sometimes relationships, not just marital, but human conversation, communication. You can hardly express yourself in public. And the rule of the game is if you cannot communicate, you do not exist. In fact, I heard that and I was like, Jesus, this could have been me. If you don't know how to communicate, you don't exist. And so that would have been me. So I would say in summary that growing up, that was one of the areas, right, of my life that I really wish I had it figured out. I had it the other way around. I used to say
you discovered it late now?
I did. I did.
So how were you able to now
navigate, right?
Yes, navigate it.
I would say that I want to sound, first of all, divine. But I know if I say God, now God though, a lot of people will be like, you guys have come again. Usually once you meet as a guy, you go out with your guy buys you ice cream. Maybe you just went down, maybe it's just to hang out, that kind of stuff, just to hang out with him. And then he buys you maybe something, he pays for this, you order this, pays for that. And then you be like, guy, I don't dare with you. I don't even know how to go home. Guy, what did they do? Nah, God though. So I don't want to say nah, God just like that. So but I will start with God. The reason is because it's very important we emphasize again, especially in this generation, that God is not just a feeling, that God is real. I remember that, like I said, I didn't know that my life would be about my mouth, that my calling, calling is not a spiritual word. Calling is purpose. Calling is life commitment. Calling is anything. It's not just for church people.
Yeah.
Right. So I didn't know that my life will be about expression. But the God that created me knew. He knows that I would use my mouth and I would communicate. So I remember the days of, I wouldn't want to talk about some encounters so that I don't sound mystical. Right. But God was really involved. God helped me. I remember, all right, okay, after that, I taught. So I would say that my life was not a perfect picture though, but it was God ordering my steps. I taught in secondary school. So I believe that period was when God took his hand, all right, used his hand to actually shape me. Now, not just secondary school, before I taught secondary school people, I did home lesson. There was this rich parent. Then in church, I've always loved dressing well. In fact, I want to say this. Sometimes God will inspire you to do things that at the time of your life you may not know why you do them, and sometimes it's not like you have an inspiration somewhere, you just do it. I used to go to service, come to service with dressed well, like I dressed properly with my tie. So there was this family that met me. The man said after each service that he likes me, that he wants me to teach his kids. And at that time he thought I had gone to university. So this was 2013. So and I said, okay, so he got me introduced to his children, and I started teaching them. So I taught them English and maths. And then if you understand the brain, English language and mathematics they are powerful tools. They can actually shape you in a sense. You have to use your mind, all right. Then in English language is about communication. So I remember in trying not to cast, Nigerian urban language, street language, make I no cast. So I will stay up and I remember studying English alphabet, even sounds, vowel sounds, all of that, just to make sure that I pronounce the words. And at that time was a struggle. I struggled, like I said, confidence. So even up until now, it's just that God has been helping me. So then I would have to convince myself that I am able to teach them. In fact, I'll be like, am I deceiving this man with this my tie and my properly dressed culture? Make it not be say I know Sabio, but it helped me because I picked up materials, I read books just to make sure that I delivered, and then that was the turning point for me. But like I said, I don't camp my strength here because it's not true. It's not true that I studied English sound and I was able to speak well. All right, so that was the power of God behind it, and gradually now that ability to teach others, all right, spurred in me the leadership spirit. So it made me, I became aware of myself. Even though I struggle, all right, with confidence, I just know that I have something to offer. It might take me, because at that time I was still struggling with stuttering, it might take me time to organize my thought. But if I eventually start talking, I will have your confidence, I will have your attention. So that was pivotal to my healing, and then gradually I'm here, and then this is not the end, right? So
now talk to someone in one sentence, like someone who is having this issue of inferiority complex and low self-esteem, right, and also struggling with confidence. What is this one thing you will tell that person as a practical way? You mentioned God.
Yes, right.
Yes. The person have been praying, Lord, that this one
it's not working.
So what will you have to tell that person that this is the practical step you will take?
Yes, sir.
Even if it means that you consistently take this step, but what's that one step that person needs to take?
All right. Thank you very kindly. The first step without missing word, is I was going to say change your thinking, but it's going to be complex. Just like the I'm sorry to digress. Just like the conversation around purpose. Once you say have a purpose, be purposeful, it has become kind of a national anthem.
Yeah.
But we need to distill it. What does it mean to be purposeful? So in that same vein, when I say what did I say again?
Change your thinking.
Change your thinking. I'm talking about the information available to you. And then that would take me to environmental factors. So what you need to do, wherever you are listening to me right now, is to travel. Now, the word travel does not mean you should board a bus, but travel from where you are now. Wherever your location is, wherever you are, you must travel. And then, depending on the vision you have, you must travel fast and you must travel far. Now, that means that your conversation should begin to inspire yourself. All right, the things that you did not have, the conversations you were not able to have, the environment is not just like location, like Onitsha or Lagos. An environment like communities, people. There are people you will meet, they inspire you. Sometimes they make you feel shy, they make you feel less of yourself. But it's a blessing depending on how you use it. You need to be inspired. But the word inspiration might not be the word. You need to be angry. Somebody needs to make you look like you're wasting your time. So as a young person, you need to get in that kind of environment. Let people spur you to work hard. And so like I said, travel. And then if you understand the concept of traveling, you'll now start getting conversations around materials, books, reading. One of the things I will not fail to recognize that actually helped me was reading, and it's still helping me. So reading, I call reading, all right, in my material, the book I wrote last year, all right, I call reading a vehicle. You travel every time you read. And then if you are a conscious person, if you really are interested in growing, you now move from reading materials to reading with purpose. So where are the areas of my life that I'm lacking? I'll now have to fetch books. Now the conversation will now have to go up a little bit. Don't just read books, read authors. Now people that you know that they have not just substance, I don't like watering down on people's words and all of that. But read after people that have had results. All right. For example, in an area of your life where you're lacking, you should gather books. I remember reading. I hope this is free marketing. The art, is it the art of public speaking by Dale Carnegie? All right. So it changed my life because of the stories there and all of that. So that area, I remember I took that book and I ate it, and so I now had the skill. Because when you want to accelerate your life, if you really want to, you will discover that there is the skill part of it. All right. And there is the science part of it. The science part of it is, all right, the things that should be in your life. For example, good parenting would have changed your life, would have probably changed your environment. But if you don't have good parenting, don't just kill yourself. Now switch to the other side of it, which is the art part of life or the skill set. So skills can be learned. You can learn how to speak. You can learn how to read. And some persons, they read and they do and they doze off. You can learn how to really not just read but assimilate and then try to apply what you read, because that's really the benefit of reading. So that's what I'm going to.
Now, you talked about this purpose. Thank God you touched that angle, because that was about the aspect I'm about entering.
Okay.
You mentioned it initially where you talked about being young is more of identity.
That's right.
Right. Now, is there a difference between identity and purpose, or are they the same thing?
Quite some question. That's a very intelligent question.
So I did the same thing.
I'm worried of people that are intelligent. I don't like sharing the room with them because they can make you look All right. So, whilst we may not differentiate them, because if we say difference, that means we are separating things. I would say that purpose is gotten out of identity.
Okay.
Yeah, I know sometimes it sounds like your purpose is your why.
Yeah.
That's the word. Yeah. Why are you existing? But you cannot know why you are existing if you don't have an identity.
Wow. Wait, for me, I'm thinking that why should describe who.
Who? Okay. In that context, I'm using the context of human civilization.
Okay.
Human civilization.
Yeah.
God had to create man. All right. At least identity. Let us make man in our identity.
Okay.
Then he gave him purpose.
Nice one. But reason why he created who.
That's right.
You didn't read it very well. He said we are making them in our identity, in our image, just for this. So it means that this inspired the making of that man to be in his own image. Do you understand what I said?
I do, if I understood you.
Yeah.
Because the conversation is going to spark a lot of theological. All right. We'll have to back it up with scriptures dogmatically, and I don't think this podcast, right? I mean, this session would accommodate that.
Okay.
But I think it's just battle of words. It's just words. All right. If we look at it, like I said, they are the same. Purpose and identity is the same, but let me use in the order of creation.
Okay.
God let them have dominion. Let who have dominion? So let who first have dominion, purpose.
Yeah.
So let the people I made in my image have dominion.
Okay.
Now, because you cannot have dominion if you don't have an identity.
And you cannot have an identity where there is no.
So although they are related, it is safe for somebody to walk into purpose by first understanding identity.
Yeah.
The reason I said it is safe is because in a world where we have all kinds of teaching and all of that, you don't need to, because if we say why are you living, sometimes that conversation can be prove why you're living. You don't need to prove that you're human. For example, somebody cannot say, Mr. Kenneth, do you know you're a man? I don't have to open my mouth and be like, five steps to tell you that I'm a man. Or I want to give you 7 reasons why I am a man. That's a funny conversation.
Yeah.
I don't even have to respond to you because I don't need to challenge that conversation. I'm a man because I was made man. I don't feel man to be man. I was created man to feel. I can feel man, but I don't need to feel it. So God had to first of all make us, and then that purpose. So I was trying to say, so I wouldn't want to digress.
Yeah.
So it is safe because purpose, people would want to show off. People would want people to accept them. And people would like to be in the good books. People want to do things to aim to win people's favor. And then as a young person, you don't really need time. You don't have time to make people like you. Contrary to popular opinion, you don't need a lot of people to like you. That means you're going to live, all right, a life of cowardice. You will not be brave with your life because you want people to accept you. You see, the culture of acceptance is what is killing creativity. It is even removing the conversation around leadership. People cannot really lead themselves, all right, if these things are not in place. You're not doing something to win my favor. You're doing it, you're launching out because you understand who you are. So that's the reason I said it is safe to start the conversation of purpose with identity. Such that when you start rising, no matter your industry, you're rising not to win people's favor. You're rising because you know your identity. It's like knowing that shining is the reason the light was made. All right, so the moon should not compete The moon cannot compete.
So what should I pay attention to now? Should I pay attention to discovering my purpose or to discovering my identity?
I would say, like I said earlier, I would say we need to push that conversation around identity.
Okay.
Discover your identity. Know who you are. The identity is a conversation that we must push. People must be not just about lines, 5 lines and all of that. We have to really sit down. And that's where we bring back the conversation of mentorship. Right?
Okay.
Let people know what it means to have an identity. Identity will solve the problem of mental healing. All of these things coming up now in our days. Right? Now let me sound God. You know who God has made you. God made you in his image. Now that is a gift. So it forms my purpose. So I would rather invest in discovering, and that's the reason we discover who we are.
Yeah.
Like we said, it's just a fight of words, which will lead us to purpose, but we discover it. So what you discover means it has been in existence.
Okay.
So my going back to God is understanding that there is no identity without a reference. So God has pre-existed. So I came from God. So once my identity is defined in him and is consistent with who God is, so my purpose will follow suit. In fact, it is simpler. Right? It is simpler.
Yeah.
I think in church history, somebody was murdered because he tried to simplify life. I can't really remember the exact year, but he was murdered. His name, I think, Origin. His name is Origin. Was Origin. So, because I say that to say we need people to simplify this. Before you get to why you are living, get to know who you are. All right. So simplify the steps to life. Simplify the steps to success. All right. If you follow this way, you will get to this way. If you take step 1, take step 2, you will definitely get to step 3.
Okay.
But sometimes life becomes difficult, especially to young people, when they maneuver these things. And sometimes you get yourself in step 3, whereas you've not gone through step 1 and step 2. And there is something to learn in step 1 that would qualify you for step 2. Yeah. So, and then this is how, all right, our generation would receive. I mean, young people, this is how you can receive the right hand of fellowship. What I mean by that is that you receive the acceptance that you truly need. Because people will give you attention if you've given yourself attention. Wow. Yes. Yeah. People will, because if you don't respect yourself, nobody will respect you. And then if you've not built yourself, nobody will try to, associate with you and all of that. So don't feel bad when people don't, recognize you, and don't try to get their attention. What you need to do is to go back, find your identity. Yeah. Because we would all meet. I think it was one of the authors that said we will meet at the top. Yeah. So all of us will meet at the top. And when we get there, we will see that what brought us there will be purpose. Wow. What will bring us there will be purpose.
So in this search of identity now, thank you for really pointing out on that. But I think to still help more people, if I got you correctly, the conversation around identity should be pushed more, right?
Yes.
And so in discovering that identity, you talked about going back to yourself.
Yes, sir.
Now, I want to still understand also the place of a mentor in finding your identity.
Okay.
Can a mentor or mentorship help you discover you?
Okay. Again, that's a very broad question, but I'll try to attempt to answer it. The answer is yes. Mentorship is a faster route. Let me start with that. It's a faster route because you tend to arrive. Like I said, the blessing of being young is time, and then it expires. If you don't find yourself while you are young, you literally struggle through life. So a mentor is present in your life, or the presence of a mentor is to show you how to. So a mentor can be, depending on in the context, a mentor can be a father.
Okay.
Right? A mentor can be a spiritual father. A mentor can be, all right, an older person that you respect, you want to, you look up to.
Yeah.
So what they do in your life is to paint a picture of success. Now, success is not affluence alone, but success is fulfilling your purpose. You are successful, all right, to the degree that your purpose is fulfilled. So that mentor positions you. Like I said initially, the mentor's value is actually a safe haven for you. So depending on who you follow, yeah, because you're not just following a man, you're following someone's value, what they believe, their belief system.
And I think we have a challenge in finding this kind of person.
That's right.
So, like, how do I find? We'll come to that. But I have this one crazy question for you.
All right.
I've watched you for a very long time, right? And I found something very interesting about you. How you are able to, how intentional you are about every of your statements, every of your words, right? How your choice of word and everything.
Yeah.
I'm a very careless talker. How can you are talking to a young person now,
right.
and also young people. How can I be able to train myself to come to that point whereby every of my words, they are guided?
Okay, that's a trick question. Like I said, I'm always wary of staying in a room with intelligent people. Our questions can be really tricky. It all boils down to, you see, it's just like clean water would always flow out of clean rivers. And so, and then what happens is that don't try to sound good. Don't try to sound intelligent. Don't try to sound coordinated. Don't try to use words. I know I'm going counter. Don't try to, tell yourself prep talk. Don't respond like this now. Do this. It will be hard. It's going against the other. Your investment should be, all right, in value, your belief system, because your belief system will shape your value. So, and then sometimes we all know that we have history. Most of us grew up in ghetto areas and all of that. So I'm not saying you just develop overnight, but gradually, don't try to sound good. It's going to be an output. It's supposed to be the result of what I want to say now.
Yeah.
So sounding good will be because I am working on my belief system. I believe now that if an older person is talking, if I'm supposed to contribute in a room, I should not say what I feel. I go talk the way it did for my mind. That's urban language for Nigerians. No. Now, the people that say I go talk like that, they usually want people to hear their opinion. Now, so it did for my mind. Not knowing that saying what is always in your mind, because sometimes you cannot take back words once they've gone out. So what you do is work on your values. Believe that, all right, I have people in my life now, all right, that at some point they may leave if they don't have value, if they don't perceive me to be valuable. So I should be changing my belief system. Okay, what does it mean to contribute? What does it mean, all right, to sound reasonable? Then that will now bring you to, like I said, I think the whole of the conversation would always come back to this identity, purpose, mentorship. All right, begin to understand what has worked for the people you're following, what has worked for the people you've read in the books. Those things will be shaping your belief system. And gradually, every time you want to respond or react to something, you'll be like, no, be so, it's not like this. And then for the people of faith listening to me, you'll find out that the Holy Spirit will tell you, this is not how to talk. This is not how to talk. Even if the conversation might not be, this is not like I'm saying now, but that prompt is there, will be there to tell you, don't sound like this. You have to be more cautious. You have to be not just cautious, you have to be conscious of what you're saying. And so that's how to develop. And before long, you become near perfect.
And it's really going to take time.
It will take time. No, nothing. It will not happen by
overnight.
It's not possible.
What if you make mistakes, like you fail while still trying to do that?
It doesn't matter.
You get up from there.
It doesn't matter. Failure, there is no success without failure.
How many times will I have to fail before I become successful?
In fact, fail faster and fail so many times.
I noticed that anytime you fail, it affects your mind.
Your mindset, right?
Yes, your conscience. You'll be like, should I keep ahead on this or should I drop? What do you do at that point? Have you experienced such before?
Yeah, I have.
So what do you do at that point?
In the area of speaking, I remember the first
Not
time.
just area of speaking, generally.
Yeah. But I want to use this example.
Area of speaking, yeah.
I remember the first day I spoke in a church.
Yeah.
It was a congregation of, say, 600. I was supposed to represent a group. So I was supposed to come and see something, and then they will act a drama.
Okay.
So, and then I prepped myself that night. I was like, I can do this. So when the mic entered my hand, I went blank. And that was embarrassing. And for my kind of a person, oh boy. So I went back home. I spoke to myself. I said, in fact, the way I learn is that anytime I fail, of course, ego will be there. You have that kind of, you have failed yourself, you've embarrassed yourself, that kind of, are you sure you can come out here again? So, but I tell myself that this is what I want to do. And what I do is that anytime I fail, like I said before now, I go back to what I believe. I believe that I am born for this. In fact, there are words I say to myself. I was born to speak. I was born to talk. I was born to teach. I was born to inspire. I was born. So it's not just motivation, like I said earlier, explaining the late Dr. Miles Monroe. It's still inspirational, but it is more inspirational than motivational. I inspire myself to pick up. It's okay to fail. I am not defined by that action, but it is needed. Because if I don't fail, I will not see the need to improve.
Exactly.
I will not see the need to push myself. And sometimes it's still it's the culture of mediocrity. We are afraid of failure because we are in mediocrity. We don't want to fail because of what people will think about us. So you push yourself out of that narrative, push yourself out of that culture. And like I was trying to say, the earlier the better. And then the many times you fail, sometimes the better. Because you are better equipped than the person who has not failed.
Wow.
You're better equipped because, like I said, after that day, I left. So it did something to my confidence.
Do you advise that we fail?
Failure is not something people pray for. Failure is like a consequence. Because it's just like a child learning to walk, a toddler. Because you are learning to walk, you are bound to fall.
So it's a consequence.
It's a consequence.
A byproduct. Is it an advantage?
It is an advantage because, like I said,
if it's an advantage, why don't you advise people to fail?
I can't tell people, like I said, I can't tell people not to fail, because I will only tell them, all right, failure is a byproduct. You will fail if you try something new. If you're trying to do something, you will fail. But I can't say go and fail. I can't say that.
When you tell somebody you will fail, you are invariably telling that person that.
Like I said, it's semantics. It's semantics. It's just language. Use of English language. You will fail if you try something. It doesn't mean you're a failure. It doesn't mean you're a failure. And again, it does not mean I'm saying go and fail. That kind of go and fail. No. You want to do something you've not done before.
Yeah.
And you will not fail, you should fail.
But like what if something, for example, we are talking about the young person, young person picture. Let's bring it a little bit to the struggle many young persons are facing.
That's right.
Regarding, let me use the word righteous living.
Okay.
Is it part of the failure? Does it come into that as well?
Okay, because living righteously, right?
Yeah, like righteously. Someone wants to really do right.
Okay.
They want to live right. But they found out that each time they take the step of I want to live right, they find themselves back in a struggle of unrighteousness.
Okay.
Are you getting me?
I do.
Because I think where they talk about this failure more is when it comes to like motivating somebody to do something. Like maybe you have something you are pursuing. If you fail at it, get back to work and all that. But we usually run away from that angle of living, righteous living as believers, and then unrighteousness.
Okay.
Now somebody is trying to live righteous and then sees himself living unrighteous.
Okay.
Now, will you tell that person to keep on failing?
Oh my God.
Do you understand?
I do.
So,
I do.
what will you now have to say in such scenario?
I think the first thing is that we would never have a perfect community of believers. I want to just drop that right there.
Yeah.
And probably drop and disappear. Walk down the stage. Allow you to think about it. We will never have a perfect community of believers.
Yeah.
I think until the day Christ will come, we will still have baby Christians. We still have people battling with pornography.
Those people that are still having those struggle,
Yeah.
is it that the more you have those struggle, the more you remain a baby?
I mean, like I said, when you were painting that picture, a word came out to my spirit, and that's the power of environment. People fail because people keep. I want to use the word keep failing, not really fail, because failure is there, is defined already.
Yeah.
Some who has not failed. People should actually be comfortable failing, because failure makes you authentic.
You were saying something about, I was asking you around the area of righteous living and unrighteous living. Like, what should happen in that scenario where someone has tried to be that righteous, but then finds himself or herself as a young person keep on experiencing the unrighteous part? Do we encourage that failure or keep on failing in that angle or stuff like that?
All right. No, we don't encourage believers to remain in failure. Now, the contest is to remain insane. That's the contest. But we don't encourage. The word is we don't encourage, but we are going to comfort them. So the reason you will keep failing in that contest, right, is because of two things. The first thing is what you know, right? What you know about being free, what you know about freedom. And sometimes we joint it, we make it difficult for people to come out of addiction. In trying to help, we make it difficult for them. So, and that means knowledge, what you know. So if they can address or readdress what they know, that it's actually easier to be free than it has been taught. It's actually easier. It's just that's the power of knowledge. Knowledge is powerful. So the second thing is environment. You keep failing because of your environment, and that environment is not just Oshobo or nature, all of that. Environment is first of all the people in your life. And this was heavily taught by my spiritual father and mentor, Doctor. I say Doctor, of course, very soon.
It's very
Apostle Dan. So he would say environment is made up of people. All right, it's made up of idea. So the conversation, the people in that space, the thoughts. All right, these are environment. So you cannot be fellowshipping with people that reminds you of your past and expect to be free. And sometimes the environment might not be, the people might not be present with you anymore, but it could be belief system, conversations that you've listened to over the years. So you must not keep failing. In fact, because of the context of our conversation, as a young person, you must not keep failing. It will affect the spirit of success. The spirit of success must be blameless. I'm not trying to sound self-righteousness. You need to be free in your mind to succeed. And then it can be attained though, but you need to come up to the level where those things are detoxified, they are removed out of your life. Maybe not completely, maybe not immediately, but let it be definitely. Don't attain perfection. I'm not talking about perfection, but come to the point where you are not struggling with, all right, falling back to sin, falling back to your vomit. Try. And then there's a way to the way to go. Not just, I don't. Okay, I want to say there's a way. Let me just say this: the way to come out of that, like I said, is to change those like the initial things I said, the knowledge. Of the environment.
Now, what's the knowledge?
All right.
The knowledge. We keep on talking about get knowledge. And also you have always emphasized on that environment.
That's
I'll still
right.
come to that. Now, what is that one knowledge that I need to have now, and then I stop that addiction? The context of what we are talking about.
It's the knowledge of the sacrifice of Christ.
Okay.
The knowledge. Now, if I say this, it might sound a bit complicated because I said the knowledge of the sacrifice of Christ Jesus. Now, you will still need, sometimes you will need a teacher to drive that knowledge. You need. So the problem is that we have been exposed to, or we're being exposed to, sometimes unqualified teachers. Respectfully said, I'm saying this respectfully, because they don't really know what they're dealing with. If I'm on the other end of conversation, I'm preaching now, I might not know what I'm dealing with. I might not know what the people I'm speaking to are dealing with. As a young person, sometimes we can be in church and we have questions, but what the person is saying is not what I need. So what we need, I want to assume the position of the young man. I need somebody to teach me of the sacrifice of Jesus. Now, not just teach me, but make me assimilate it. That this battle, this sin, this habit, all right, are the things that Jesus died for. Now, I'm not going to sympathetically respond to it. Oh, he died for me, let me be trying not to be sinning. No, it is the power of the mind. There's a way, if I believe right, I'm going to act right. So, but if before I believe right, I have to hear right.
Okay.
So if I hear right, and that's what the Bible says, how would they hear unless they have a teacher? And how would they have a teacher unless somebody is sent? So the messengers must be we preachers or people speakers, ministers of the gospel. We must assume the position of messenger. A messenger must have a message. So if I hear right, which is if I hear the sacrifice of Jesus by context, and I'm well taught, I will believe, because that's the truth. I don't believe because I have not heard. So once I believe right, action is a consequence of believing right. It might take time, because it took time before you became addicted. It took time now. The first time you saw the movie, personally, the first time I saw the movie, all right, it took hold of you. You're like, Jesus, blood of Jesus. Then gradually it's becoming blood of Jesus. Then all of a sudden you are at home. Even sometimes you create your environment. And some persons they are as, not like they are bad, but they are smart as knowing the particular time when everybody will be asleep. Because it needs quietness. So that thing has impacted your mentality, your mindset. So it's just like you're taking your shower, your bath, all right? So you wash off. It will take time. And sometimes, depending on the area that you're seeing, so if you don't see your armpit very well, you'll not wash it very well. If you don't wash it very well, it will ooze. So I will take my time. Okay, I've seen a lot. I've spoken a lot. All right. And some persons, all right, that have environment where they might not change the environment. I'm talking about physical environment. You're living with maybe campus mates, lodge mates, all of that, or with siblings. All right, because things happen. And being in a position where I speak to young people, I've heard things. I've heard things. I believe me, I've heard this. I've dealt with things, and then I'll be like, the only solution, all right, would be what we're saying now. So, in that kind of situation, you might not leave the environment, because sometimes being young, you might not afford your house, your accommodation, all of that. So you've got to learn how to put your faith to work. It is time to now begin to, all right, exude the life. Learn to pray. Learn to make people know that you are a serious person. You know, there's a way you live with people. They will know that they should not disturb you. Right? And they will know your values. They will stop tempting you. They will stop pushing you to do things that would or make you go back. So, but you must be intentional about it. I'm talking about having physical environment. All right? Yeah. So, then the other environment is just you have to renew your mind. So
should I pay more attention to what is going on in the mind or the act itself?
Okay. It's about focusing. What you focus on, right, will manifest. So I would say pay more attention to what goes on in the mind, but it's the opposite actually. What goes on in the mind is as a result of what I have seen with my eyes. So the way to the heart of man is what they say. Jesus taught that, all right, you have said that if you commit adultery, you've sinned, you've broken the law of Moses. But I say to you, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. So it is from the heart that evil emanates and all of that. But that's a different context. Now, the other context is if I have seen things with my eyes, the human mind has a way of absorbing information. So if I have absorbed information from the outside to my mind, what I'm going to do is to cut off. So I want to say that it is relatable. We do both at the same time.
Okay.
Cut off, sever yourself from the physical things that tempt you. All right, and then begin to remove, because it's a continuous action. It's like a worship. It will not happen in one day.
I've had this. Someone was teaching and he said something like, when you find yourself in the act, for example, watching pornography or masturbating, he says, when you are masturbating, when you are in the act, be confessing, I'm the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus. Does that really work? Because he was trying to teach on the mindset.
The mindset, yeah.
So it was like, even in that act, see, tell yourself in the mind, you are masturbating, but in your mind, this is not me.
This is not me.
I'm not a slave to this. I'm the righteousness. What do you think about that? Do you think it's the right thing?
I will not say right or wrong, because I know I will not say right or wrong, but I believe in that. It's a principle.
Really?
It's a powerful principle.
Wow.
So I'm not going to say whether right or wrong, but it's a powerful principle. And like I talked about, if you remember the weapon, just like money is not good or bad. It takes the shape of the person holding it. So it's a principle. Anyone can operate. A prostitute can decide to operate it. You sleep with somebody in the act you're confessing. It's a principle, and it will work. It will work. The only thing that we're going to support that with, right, is make sure you have the right environment.
Okay.
If I have Christian brothers, or if I have people that understand stuff like this surrounding me, they understand. For the fact that I'm struggling, like we said initially, if I've solved the problem of identity, I know that I'm not the one. It's not like telling yourself, I'm not the one doing this. It sounds like, are you not whining yourself?
Yes.
No, be you, be this.
Yeah.
Touch yourself, but it's a law. You're telling yourself, which is the spirit, that this act going on with your body is not who you are.
Wow.
So you're right. It's not who you are. But the conversation will be better if you have environment. So after doing that, I'll go back to my company. So I keep hearing the message of righteousness, the message of faith, the message of faith. Even if like a smoker, because we might push the conversation of pornography, masturbation, fornication, and forget smoking, right? Which is drug and all of that. Even if you're taking drug as I'm talking right now, all right, still confess, I'm the righteousness of God.
Guys,
It's a principle.
This is powerful.
It's a principle. What you're doing is that you're telling your mind, it's a law, and it's even scientific. It will change the next time you touch it. Your mind will be like, what's this? then the signs of it is that you start understanding the health issues. It's not even reasonable to be smoking, because sometimes you don't tell a smoker it's not reasonable to be smoking, because on the packet they wrote that smokers are liable to, so they're not seeing that stuff. Right? So what happened? They've been taken over. So don't say that, because they know. And this is why even preachers, evangelists must understand that you don't correct people by saying how wrong they are. They know that they are wrong. You have to show them. So we paint the picture. So if I'm saying I'm the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus and I'm still smoking, I'm establishing a faith. It's powerful. I will not continue. If I'm sincerely saying that, I will not. It's not possible. And throughout the right in history, people have been saved. And
True
sometimes,
that.
like I know a preacher, I'm not going to mention the name. He's a global preacher in this country. In fact, he shared this story. All right, back in the university, in the school days, he was this chain smoker. So he would smoke and come for service. He would smoke and take tom-tom. So he caught himself saying, "I'm the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus."
Wow.
It's a powerful thing. But he discovered that every time he says that, something is establishing in his heart. So the next time he caught himself, all right, he went downstairs to take the smoke again. He picked up, actually, you will light the lighter, you will light your smoke. But the moment you bring it close, because it is a doctrine, is faith. You've established it long enough. And this is why it's like taking drugs. You must be saying that consistently. And then if you are a serious person, if you sincerely want to be free, even when you're not doing the act, wake up and say, "I'm the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus." Sleep making those confessions. So this is how you change your environment. So don't just wait until you fall. Like, I'm the right. Now there are two ways. You could say, "I'm the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus," out of fear. And anything done out of fear is not faith. You will not get the result. So know it by knowledge, not just head knowledge. I'm actually the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus. And then if you say it long, like I said, long enough, and then I have a real method. Write a confession. Like, write it down with your hand. Don't just say it off heart. Right? I'm the righteousness. I'm not this. I desist from this. All of that, and then say it. Possibly paste it on your wall and say it every time. See it every time. You will create that environment I mentioned. You would have changed it. And then if you're living with people, the physical environment, learn to say it. Put it in your phone. Record with your voice. It's just that, like I said, it's a blessing to be young. The devil will not allow a young person to explore his life successfully. So don't delay. So get back to work. And I call them wounded soldiers. So get yourself cleaned and join the army. We need you.
Wow, this is very powerful. This is very, very powerful. There's still a whole lot to talk about on this. Maybe we'll have a separate, complete session for it. But meanwhile, in case you have a question on these subjects now, just put it in the comment section, right? So that in our next episode, on this particular thing now, Mr. Kenneth talked about, we would have time to talk about it more in our subsequent episode. But then, I would like to eat around this question. I would like you to just you're an advocate of growth.
Yes.
And also you're an advocate of spiritual growth.
Yes, sir.
They are two different things, right?
Yeah.
Which one should a young person pay attention to?
Advocate of growth and spiritual growth.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It is still semantics. It is still semantics. The reason I say so is because we grow spiritually. Yeah. We grow intellectually. We grow academically. But we grow because it's scientific. There's the law of growth is because there's life. So spiritual growth is the life in the spirit. Okay. Intellectual growth is the life in the mind.
Okay.
Right. So physical growth is the life in the body. So we may not really separate them, but contextually we can separate them. If I'm telling a young person grow spiritually, there's a context for it.
Okay.
So it's right, but like I said, it was actually semantics. So because if we separate it, it will be as though spiritual growth is different from intellectual growth.
But there are some persons that grow, but they are not growing
spiritually.
Are you getting me? Because growth, I believe growth is vast. You
Yes,
have
sir.
areas of your life where you grow. Some persons will say grow in this, grow your skills and
Yes,
all
that's
that.
right, that's right, that's right.
So that's what I'm saying, because I wanted you to strike a balance on how you can achieve growing physically, like growing both intellectually otherwise, and then growing spiritually.
Okay, I would say this. Growing spiritually, first of all, I would say the similarity, what is common to both of them. Growing spiritually would need vision.
Okay.
Growth as normal growth, we also need vision. But the difference is that growing spiritually is understanding that we as believers, we have a life of faith to live.
Okay.
And the life of faith is not possible without spiritual growth. We cannot overcome the world if we are not growing spiritually.
Yeah.
So growth spiritually is a way, is wisdom. Is wisdom to grow spiritually. It is foolishness not to grow spiritually. Because the promises of God in Christ Jesus that the Bible said that are yes and amen, they are promises. And we can have promises and die. We can have promises of riches and die poor. We can have promises of health and die sick. So what it means is that they are promises to be obtained.
Okay.
So, and we obtain it by stature, of course, maturity. Another word for spiritual growth. Then in the other area of growth, it also entails, it starts with vision. What do I really want with my life? If I know what I love, what I want with my life, I will now understand the area where I need to grow. There are persons at this point in their life, they need to grow intellectually.
Okay.
Because sometimes when they're invited in the room, it's not just about contribution. Sometimes it's a failure. It affects their self-image that they are in a room, but they are in a room, but they cannot contribute.
Yeah.
It's a feeling. They know that there is something inside. Like I said, growth is a life. Everybody has the potential to grow. But not everybody will eventually grow. So because of the potential, they know that I can talk like this person. In fact, some persons they are daring to say I can speak better than this person. But I bet you they've never spoken before. And they're not lying.
Yeah.
I've been in that shoe, so I know what I'm saying. But what they lack is that vision. So if you leave that room self-defeated, you should go back and begin to, okay, at this point of my life, with my age, because growth must happen, you must understand the circumstances surrounding you. All right, so let me grow intellectually, because it will affect my presentation, my perception, my recommendation, even my employability. And then that's how you understand, okay, this is the vision. If at the moment I have something to say, that moment when people say, okay, what do you think? It happens even in general relationship. Once that question comes to what do you think, just know that the ability to get it correctly is the absence or the presence of an intellectual growth. And then people actually will weigh you. So once you say that, they either accelerate the relationship or they plateau or they bench you. And you can't really blame people.
Exactly.
So what you do is that you pick up, where do I need to grow now? So vision is the first thing. Secondly, you have to be sincere. You've got to be sincere. Where exactly have I been failing? And then, in Africa, especially in this part of the world, we don't tell people the truth. If they try, bro, more grace. What is more grace? More grace. But some persons must learn to, say, okay, you tried, but this area, that area, work on it. So So area and growth happens with that, all right? Vision and then sincerity. You have to be sincere.
Wow. Mr. Kenneth, this is really a wonderful session, and I really appreciate your words of wisdom. What advice would you give the 18-old you if you had to go back and give that advice?
I dread this question. I dread it. I always dread it. In fact, it's emotional.
Really?
I'm telling you, it's emotional.
It was not really an easy one growing up.
Yeah. It's emotional. I'll try. But it's an emotional question. And it's something I have, all right. I have it there that I will speak to. In fact, it makes me, if I'm talking and I realize that I see 19-year-old, 18-year-old, there's this spark of passion, right, that comes. It's like an extra dose of grace. Because I would say the advice I would give is this. All right, it's just two. Let me just summarize them in two, so I don't end up saying a lot of things that you might not apply. An 18-year-old must know what they want in life. Right?
They are old enough to know.
They are old enough to know.
Okay.
An 18-year-old must know what they want in life. And that's another word for vision. Because the culture does not support that. The culture tells you you're young. And if you're not privileged, right, or if you're like me, with all due respect to my family, right, the background did not allow me to imagine, because you'll be battling with environmental, things you don't want to see, the environment that is not good enough. What I mean by that is provision was not there like the way it should be. And then just not like luxury, just normal basic things that you should have as a young person, because you should have those things as a young person. You should have you should have a good parenting. It's a blessing to have a good parenting. It's a blessing to start out there. It's a blessing. And so those are the second thing is you must I'll use the word, all right. Yeah, this is the area sometimes I get really emotional. Right. Don't get yourself into trouble. I mean, what I mean by that is that, like we talked about addiction and all of that. I know sometimes it's not really our fault that we fall into addiction, but try as much as you can. All right, and this boils down to good parenting, environment. All right, I was listening to a preacher named Withheld. I don't want to mention, he's a white preacher. So he says that he never knew what is pornography until he started counseling. I mean, as a preacher, as a grown-up preacher,
Really?
he never knew what was sexual immorality, perversion, all of those things until he started counseling. That means he grew up in a family where they never mentioned. So that's what I'm talking about. Now, such advantage, the advantage number one is the advantage of vision. Because vision does not need fog, mist. You don't have to clog the wheel of your progress. Because the energy you want to use to unlearn what you've learned, undo what you've done, get, delivered. And sometimes you'll be struggling with that deliverance for 5 years. With God, with the Holy Spirit. 7 years. Now put 7 years to 18 years. That's 25 years. And statistically, if you're 25 and you've not defined a vision for your life, it's wrong.
Yes.
So I would say to my 18-year-old, this student, now sometimes it's consequential. I will not choose my parent. I will not choose my family. But all right, if it's the other way around, okay, good parenting. I'm not even talking about whether they are bad. My parents are not bad though. My parents are not bad.
I get.
I'm talking about provision.
I'm
talking about not my parents. Environment, right? Where you grow up in, the people you associate, all right, the places you go to, those things are important. the people that come to your house, the movies you watch. Most people, as I speak now, most people grew up with relatives. I call that environment. In that environment where they had molestation and the parents will never know. Now, that is baggage. Those things are baggages. Because at that time, we are young. We don't know. It's just there. But when you want to start doing stuff, when you want to start building stuff, when you want to start, because at that time, depending on the parenting, if you were told that it's okay, you're still young, relax. But when you start growing up, when you start doing stuff, you would wish that you never had, all right, such kind of environment. So I would say parents should, all right, kind of try, all right. But then if you're a victim already, you don't have to blame anybody. We don't blame storm. We brainstorm. It was an idea populated, not me, populated by John Maxwell. We don't blame storm. We brainstorm. So I don't blame my yesterday. All right. What I have is today. I don't have yesterday anymore. So, but with today is sufficient enough to help me get to tomorrow. So 2 things. If I had the opportunity, all right, to have the environment necessary for success, all right, parenting, environmental, basic provisions, all of that, all right. Then secondly, don't get yourself in trouble. Put yourself out of that picture. If you are noticing that things are happening in your environment, speak to somebody. All right, speak to a mentor. Get yourself out of that conversation, because the moment you get hooked, it will take extra effort. And I'm even talking about serious-minded people, not like careless people. I'm not. Careless people will not mind. They will still be packing the thing. 20 that still misbehaving, 21 that still misbehaving.
Until when you get to 30,
once you hit that 30, and then sometimes you hit the 30, it's still not this. You're still going ahead. So that's the question I would say that a mentorship would solve. So my advice to the young person, the 18-year-old, added, in addition to what I just said, is that good mentorship is a blessing. Get yourself a mentor. I know we have a very terrible society now. Sometimes the mentor are tormentors. But get yourself a mentor. Get yourself somebody you look up to. That means choose your mentor. I know that in making a choice is an expression of who you are. You cannot make choice beyond what you know. So sometimes their choice might not be really the best of the choice. So this is why the first thing, belong to a community. That means a church, a group, a discipleship class, all of that. Then observe, then choose your mentor.
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Kene. I really appreciate once again this level of wisdom, insight, and perception. Like, I'm really blessed.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And then the things you shared here, to me, I took it personal as well. And I believe that it will really aid a whole lot of young people out there as well. And I long that we do this again and again and again. So hopefully we're gonna have you back on the show. We still have some things we have not finished touching.
I look forward.
So thank you so much for really making our time to come.
Kindly. Thank you.
So to the audience, I believe that you were really inspired and blessed. Please share this particular video to as many as possible. And don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so that you know when Mr. Kene is coming back to the show again. Thank you for watching to this point. If actually you stayed to this point, you're welcome. See you in our next episode.
Thank you.